Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in this week. If it is your first time here, please like, share, and subscribe. This week, we're going to dive into understanding more about carbohydrates. I recently had a friend reach out to me, and the conversation kind of went like this. Keisha, I've been told that I have prediabetes, and I don't know what I should eat. I don't know what I can eat, what I can't eat, and I know I've been told to stay away from carbohydrates. Wrong answer. Let me be clear. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. In last week's episode, we discussed that there are over 42 factors that affect blood sugars, and food is just one component. What's your biggest struggle with carbohydrates or knowing what to eat? Let me know in the comments below. You can maintain healthy blood glucose levels and still enjoy some of the foods that you love. It's all about balance and making choices. Yes, carbohydrates are indeed the foods that impact your blood sugar the most, but I want you to know that carbohydrates are not off limits. I will take a few minutes to break down carbohydrates to help you understand them a little bit better. To keep it simple, when you eat food, food is broken down and that food is turned into sugar. So carbohydrates are those foods that are turned into sugar, but your body needs them for energy. When you consume foods or drinks containing carbohydrates that break down into sugar, if your body struggles to process the sugar, which is the case in diabetes, then that excess sugar is going to remain in your bloodstream, and that can lead to high blood sugar levels. I want to be clear. Your body needs carbohydrates for energy, and the sugar that we get from the food we eat provides that energy for normal bodily functions. If you suddenly stop eating carbohydrates, you may not have the energy that you need to do the things that you want to do or that you like to do. So rest assured, carbohydrates are a necessary part of a balanced meal. Learning more about carbohydrates can help you feel more confident in your choices of knowing what to eat and how much to eat. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about balance and making choices. When choosing carbohydrates, we want to select ones that are rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and lower in sugar, sodium, and unhealthy fat. Let's talk about types of food that contain carbohydrates. And this list isn't all types of food, just a few. You have your starchy vegetables such as corn, peas, potatoes, and your winter squashes. You have cereal, grains such as quinoa, barley, farro, pasta, and rice. You have your legumes, also known as beans, and your lentils, known as peas. You also have bread, tortillas, and crackers, fruit and fruit juice, dairy, including milk and yogurt, and then your sweet foods or desserts. Learning about carbohydrates and managing how much you should and shouldn't eat can seem frustrating. I encourage you to follow up with a certified diabetes care and education specialist or a registered dietitian to help you implement strategies and learn more about carbohydrates and carbohydrate counting. This is something that you totally can do. The carbohydrates you eat will influence your blood sugar levels, so it's essential to understand that you cannot eat endless amounts of carbohydrates. It's also important to understand that not all carbohydrates are the same. Carbohydrates are broken down into simple and complex forms, and we're going to talk about them. Simple carbohydrates are also known as simple sugars, and the word simple refers to how the carbohydrate is made. It's not very complex, which means it is quickly and easily broken down into the human body, and it can send quick bursts of sugar into the bloodstream. Simple carbohydrates can be found in candy, honey, white bread, white rice, white pasta, and regular soda. And also in sugar, whether that's white or brown sugar. So this is just to name a few and get you started on thinking, what is a simple carbohydrate? Then we have what's known as complex carbohydrates. And complex carbs are very complex. They're made so detailed that they're difficult for your body to break down, meaning that they don't pass through your bloodstream as quickly as simple carbohydrates. When you eat complex carbohydrates, they undergo a longer digestion process in your body, which can help you feel full longer and even give you more energy over time. Because complex carbohydrates take longer to digest than simple carbohydrates, your body has plenty of time to absorb the minerals, the vitamins, and the nutrients they provide. Complex carbohydrates can be found in foods such as beans, fruits, vegetables, whole grain, pasta, bread, and rice. So my takeaway here is focus on eating foods that are more complex, okay? Complex carbohydrates, as this is going to help you with digestion and provide a good source of vitamins and minerals for your body. Now we're going to talk about practical strategies to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to wrap this episode up by teaching a simple method for making a healthier plate and monitoring your carbohydrate intake. It's called the plate guide method, and some of you may have heard of it. The plate guide method is pretty straightforward, and it helps you control your intake by dividing your plate into sections. So I've got a plate here. So you want to start with a 9-inch plate like this. And this is not likely the size of the plate in your cabinet, because over the years, plates have gotten bigger. So for reference, I just want you to grab a standard paper plate. And I'm just reminding you of what that might look like. So the largest portion of your plate here, see this little plate that I have? Okay, the largest portion of your plate should consist of non-starchy vegetables. Non-starchy vegetables include broccoli, spinach, collards, kale, cabbage, lettuce, green beans, mushrooms, peppers, tomatoes, and carrots, all the good stuff. And these vegetables contain small amounts of carbohydrate, but they're really rich in fiber and vitamins and minerals. So I encourage you to include more of these vegetables in your diet. So remember, half of your plate is the non-starchy vegetables. Then a quarter of your plate should be reserved for your protein foods. And this could be your plant-based proteins, such as beans, lentils, or nuts. But remember, if you're using beans or lentils for your plant-based protein, we need to count that as a carbohydrate. And then the last quarter of your plate should contain your carbohydrates, whether that be rice, pasta, that's going to be here. And you can plate the extras. So the extras at a meal might include adding fruit or adding a glass of milk. Typically regarding beverages, I encourage you to choose water to drink or a no-carb drink, so you're not eating extra carbs or drinking extra carbs. Using this method is small but powerful, and it can be a start to this better journey towards health. I want you to comment below if you've ever heard of the plate guide method, or comment and let me know what method you use. To sum this up, remember, carbohydrates are essential, but choosing the right type and the portion size makes all the difference. Use the plate guide method to guide you and balance your meals. I hope this episode was helpful for you and able to provide you with some insights on the basics of carbohydrates. But I want you to remember, there's more to learn. So I encourage you to reach out to a registered dietitian or certified diabetes care and education like myself to help you understand more about healthy eating with diabetes. If you have specific nutrition concerns, please ask your doctor to refer you to a registered dietitian. Thank you for tuning in this week. And remember, carbs are not the enemy. Knowledge is power, and I hope this week I was able to share some light on that carb is the enemy conversation. So remember, we're in this together and sharing is caring. So you might be able to help someone else out on this journey. If you found that this information was helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Next week, we'll be discussing curbing cravings and some healthier snack options. So I hope to see you next week. And remember, together we've got this.